Are you walking more? Has that become your go-to workout, or maybe your stress reliever? Maybe it's the way you escape your house and those people living in it. I could go on and on. This is Deborah Atkinson, and you're listening to Flipping 50, where I address your top concerns and struggles. I share how to eat, how to move, and how to change your mindset so that you can have the energy and the vitality that you want, need, and deserve in this second and better half. And today, this is a longer podcast. This is a topic that really hits home right now because so many of us are walking. And maybe if you, like me, have fallen back in love with walking and forgotten how very beneficial it is for mind, body, and spirit, then this 5 walking workouts you will run to for results is just for you. And before we dive in, I want to let you know that one of the questions I hope you're asking about your walking is not just how can you vary it or how can I stop being so bored by the same route, but it's, are you doing enough? And if you're not strength training, girlfriend, you are not doing enough. So you need to be doing some strength training in combination with your hiking or your walking so that you are setting yourself up for not only the best right now, the best body composition, the best hormone balance, but the best 10 and 20 and 30 years down the road. So I'm going to link to the Stronger program. It will soon, if it's not when you're listening right now, be open again. And when the doors open, there's often a 50% off early bird rate that goes away shortly. And you can sometimes still get in, but not at the optimal rate. If you want to know when that happens, you're going to go to flipping50.com/get stronger for the 12-week program that's full of workouts that were designed for you based on science, featuring women in perimenopause and postmenopause. Because your hormones, your body composition, metabolism, and let's face it, the way we were socialized in our late teens and early 20s is very different than a man and very different even than a younger woman. I also want to give a shout out to all of the personal trainers and the health coaches out there who I know are in the audience, or those of you who think you'd love to actually be one. I have been honored in these last 8 years to dedicate all my knowledge, science, and experience from the last or prior 29 years before that to women in midlife, who I think influence more health habits in the world than anyone else ever will, and certainly does right now. And I now am the founder and creator of the Flipping 50 Fitness Specialist, where I'm taking the methods and the formulas that we've used here successfully with over 150,000 women touching their lives and improving the way they exercise, to give them to trainers so that they too can leave a legacy, have a greater influence. And you can learn more about that at fitnessmarketingmastery.com/programs. All right, let's dive in. Walking is the new running for many with knee, hip, or ankle concerns. It's the new elliptical and the new step mill for many who've ditched the gym by necessity or by choice. You can see my recent announcement on Instagram about that. At least it's my right now decision. It's a good choice for several reasons. Done right, walking can be as intense or as easy as you need it to be. You can reduce cortisol, increase feel-good serotonin, and improve your sleep, all the while slowly walking away pounds or inches if that's a goal. You're already at your optimal weight? We'll keep walking anyway. The health benefits are abundant and include improved blood pressure, cholesterol levels, as well as improved depression and anxiety reduction. If you're walking more but you find yourself dreading the same walk today, I've got you covered. While I can't give or move your front door and change the scenery, I've got 5 walking workouts that you can play with this week. And I do recommend you find ways to turn left if you're always turning right. Find new ways to walk the hood. Consider a drive to a trail or a path nearby to shake up your route every once in a while. So here we go. Number 1 out of my 5 walking workouts that you'll run to is called the long slow. Pretty easy to guess what this one's all about. Once a week, choose a trail or just a new area to explore and lengthen your walk. I've explored new neighborhoods when I leave from the house, when I go for longer walks. Sometimes I do an out and back route, and other times I just let myself get lost and figure it out. This longest walk of the week should be reasonable, but stretch you. So how do you choose how long to go? Take the walk distance that you're doing regularly right now and add a significant amount that still feels doable. Say you usually go on a 3-mile jaunt around the neighborhood at what feels like a brisk walk. For your long walk, you take it off the beaten path, if you can, to a 4-mile scenic trail, which will slow things down, as they should. It helps to have a GPS, either in a phone app or on a watch. I use and love my Garmin 920. It's a watch around my wrist. It tracks distance and time, whether I'm swimming, biking, running, or walking, or I'm stringing them all together, known as a triathlon. Alternatively, though, just watch your time and determine half time so you know when to turn around and not push yourself in a position of doing too much too soon, no matter how good it feels. So the frequency for the long slow, once a week. Next up, we have the hill habit. Number 2 on the walking workouts list is your interval training with resistance workout. That's what a hill is. You either need one big hill or a series of hills for this one. You're going to walk 10 or 15 minutes first, and then you want to find yourself at the base of a hill that takes you 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes to power up. Turn yourself around and walk back down or walk down the other side. Your recovery down should take twice as long. Once you're down and you're completely recovered, no longer breathless, begin it again. You want to do 4 to 6 repeats and then resume your walk to cool down 10 or 15 more minutes. Each week you increase your intervals, so you're eventually climbing the hill 8 times. Generally that's about enough for an interval training day. And then instead of increasing the repeats, focus on reaching a higher point on the hill in the same amount of time. You may find pretty soon you've run out of hill eventually because you're going to get stronger and more fit, sister. And if you're making it to the top of the hill in less than a minute, you got to find a bigger hill. The frequency, once a week. And part of that is hill running. It's strenuous, so it requires a little bit more recovery. The walk this way is number 3. In this walk, you're going to connect your hip roll, did you know you had one, to your heel strike and the width of your gait. So when you think width of your gait, think about how wide you stand, how wide you walk if you're just walking straight ahead. As you go faster, you should be narrowing that width. So you're going to warm up at your usual gait and speed gradually, increasing your pace till you're really good and warm. It's 102 here, so I don't mean just that. Muscles, joints, all of it, ready to go. Then narrow your stance. So you're walking as if you're on a tightrope or a balance beam. You'll notice your hips rolling more, which is exactly what you want. You want to feel like you're cruising along close to the ground, and that's exactly how it should feel. No bounce. Begin to widen your stance again, and you'll slow down and the hips will roll less. And alternate these 2 motions of tightrope walking and normal walking. Try to pick up the speed as you do the tightrope walking. Roll through the foot, heel ball toe, and keep low to the ground, minimizing any up and down bouncing. Your mechanics are more efficient in this position, even if it may feel awkward the first few times you do it. The frequency of the walk this way, anytime, in the middle of any walk, you can try a little pickup. The fourth walk is the swinger. So this one, you might guess, it's all about the arms. And I've noticed so many walkers with artistic interpretation of arm swings out there. Here's the 4-1-1. You want to swing your arms from the shoulders. Your arms should hang down and move from the shoulder like a pendulum rather than be reaching movement. So you don't want to push your hand forward, for instance. If you're walking a slow pace, your longer arms is the name of the game. You're just letting your arms go normally, maybe pushing them just a little bit faster, but they're hanging down at your sides. If you're walking at a moderate pace, you're going to begin to shorten your arms, aka we call that your lever. So you're walking a little bit more from your elbows. And if you're trying to walk very fast or power up a hill without slowing down, you have a 90-degree bend at your elbow, and you're increasing the weight that you move those arms. Your arm speed determines your leg speed. If you need more power or more speed in your legs, you're going to initiate that with your arms. So if you feel tension in your neck and your shoulders after you go for a walk, it's a sign that you're over-controlling the swing from the top down instead of allowing your arm to truly swing like a pendulum from your shoulder. Do swing front to back. Don't bring the arms across your body. Don't hold on to hand weights. And I'll link to another podcast episode where I really cover that. Do lift weights 2 or 3 times a week to complement your walking and do far more good than carrying hand weights ever will. The walk goes like this. Set out at a comfortable pace with long arms. Increase your speed for a block or so by bending your arms and picking up the pace of your arm swing to a speed you probably can't maintain, but it's going to boost your intensity for a short time. Settle back down to a slower walk to recover. This is speed play, and you can pick a corner, you can pick a driveway or a street light to target so that you're doing 30-second or more little pickups during your walk. The frequency for this one, once a week. And last but not least is the My Way. Don't you like the name already? For runners, this one is known as Fartlek, and that's fart, L-E-K. It's just speed play, really. You can do it to landmarks along your way, like you choose the lamppost you can see, you choose the stop sign, the corner of the driveway. I like to do it and use music to do it and tell me where I'm running to. I'll create a playlist of really fast songs, like 160 to 180 beats per minute. And if you do a search for that, 160 to 180 beats per minute, you'll get some responses. And then I'll create some breaks where I have more moderate tempo music, 140 to 160, and I'll match those tempos while I run or while I walk or recover. And you can use tempo, you can use a certain tempo for the entire song or just for a short timed interval, say 30 seconds, I'm going to use this tempo. The advantage of doing it my way is that your body never settles into a pattern and you don't get tired or stiff or sore the way you can easily if you set out and go for the same pace for an entire walk. What's happening when you do that is that your fascia gets set, and that's often what creates stiffness and tension. You may think that you're stiff because of muscles, but it's really often the hairnet that is your fascia covering muscles that gets tight and locked in. In simpler terms, the My Way just feels like play. It's like being a kid again. When you feel like running it, you run. When you feel like going slow, you go slow. And if you, like me, are strongly moved by music, I highly recommend create your own playlist, various spades of music, songs you love and you're inspired by. Just don't get something so slow that it makes you slow way down, because you will, especially if you are rhythmic in nature. The frequency for this one, anytime. And there you have it. 5 walking workouts to fall in love with your walking all over again. So I'd love to hear from you. Are you walking more? Are you listening to music? Or listening to podcasts is something I will frequently do for my late day, lighter walks. What's your pleasure? I'll link in the show notes to the resources I mentioned, the Flipping 50 Fitness Specialist, the Stronger, where you can get notified that things are ready to go. And I'd love to hear from you. The show notes will be at flipping50.com/walking workouts. What are you waiting for? Let's start Flipping 50 today.